Hi people, this is Mrs. Unger, and I'd like to talk to you today about online research. Many times I give you a topic and we split up into groups and we um, look through websites and get information about a certain topic. Sometimes I find that I see you have difficulty determining what type of website is a good one. Um, Sometimes I see you have difficulty getting information. And so I thought what I could do is we can have another challenge topic and we can compare how we search through the various websites and what we are looking for as far as how credible the source is, um, and how if other researchers agree with information on that page, is the source reliable? So these topics we've talked about, but let's get a little bit more specific by having me demonstrate what I do when I look at a web page, and have you watch the process and see if you can add your own particular uh, techniques to the process, but keeping the same basic um, framework as far as what we look for to get credible information, to get accurate information, and so that we don't waste our time. So the topic today is global climate change. Global climate change has been controversial over the last few years, and I won't say any more than that, except that every one of you needs to form their own opinion about global climate change, and as you do for many other topics. So when I searched global climate change, I found a few websites, and they were at sort of at the top of the list, um, underneath the ads. And the first website that caught my eye was a NASA website. Now, we're all familiar with NASA, National Aeronautic and Space Administration, and it is a government site. It's a government organization. We know that they're credible because of our general pool of knowledge. So I clicked on the NASA website, and assuming that it is an authentic NASA website, um, I thought, as soon as I looked it over, um, I perused the tabs here, and I would first probably click on the word evidence. So under evidence, there are some subheadings. How do we know? That's a great place to start. How do we know that we have global climate change if we do have it? Let's click on that. Okay, and we have some very nicely organized evidence, causes, effects, vital signs. And there's a really nice graphic here. So let's take a look at the graphic. It gives carbon dioxide on the left axis here, on the y-axis, in parts per million. And it gives a long history of the Earth. Here we are at point zero. We go back 400,000 years. And there is evidence in, someone has measured, for now that's what we will say, somebody has measured the carbon dioxide levels. And so we see that there's a cyclical trend here, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, um, there's a spike. Okay, so that makes us think, let's investigate this further. Well, I don't know about you, but the first thing that I would do is find out how this particular data was gathered. So we might go back to causes. Okay, and it gives an idea of how the CO2 was trapped. Okay, we've talked about the greenhouse effect before. So there's a nice, again, a nice graphic here. And I like what I see as far as the text is very nicely readable. So you can get little snippets of information here, and that's a nice way that the website is laid out. If we want cold hard facts with references, we can go to articles, the articles tab. And investigate the news feature and see if we can find out. We have a choice of years here. We can see if we can find out how information was gathered, so we can look further and answer that question. So this is a great website. Next, I thought I would take a kind of a different point of view. So NASA is obviously, it's obvious from their point of view that global climate change is not controversial, that there is enough evidence. So let's try to find a website that is presenting another point of view. So I found this pro-con climate change website, and this particular website gives both sides of the story. So that's what I would be most curious about. So let's go to that particular tab, and it gives for human causation in the greenhouse effect, or which contributes to global climate change. And it also gives the con or against point of view. So that would be helpful. So we could evaluate, do we agree with whoever is presenting this side of the story versus this side of the story. And then these little tabs give references. So if we go down to the bottom of the page, there would be a place for references. Also, in this website, it's really nice that they have two different opposing points of view represented by videos. So it might be nice to start with a video. Get different points of view and then go back and read the text. Also, they have some graphics here showing the relationship between global temperature and CO2 levels. And here again is the spike in the latter part of the history of the world, which is where we are living. So this website particularly answers the question, whose perspective or whose bias are we seeing? So we're getting two different points of view here. And it's always nice when you have a controversy to make yourself aware of both sides. The third website I chose is IPCC, and I chose this website because it is intergovernmental, and so there are several points of view here represented from all over the world. So there's a link here for hundreds of scientists, which I thought was interesting, and you can select a report by report and chapter. Summary for policymakers might be interesting. And it gives people from many, many different areas: France, Germany, Pacific Northwest in the US, Nepal, Brazil. So again, many different points of view. So these are some of the things I look for when I am looking for investigating a controversy and looking for evidence from different points of view. Um, and we can talk more about this in later classes. And in fact, we can take turns doing it. We can put websites up and discuss ways that we can add evidence to the fact that websites are credible, are valuable, valid sources of information, and they represent different perspectives, and all of this information could be valuable to a particular, researching a particular topic. So we can talk more about that in later lessons. But I hope this was kind of a little bit of an indication of what I look for when I open up a website and try to get information from it. So thanks for listening, and that's it.